Now is a great time to build a new PC as we're closing out the first half of 2025. Pretty much all of the relevant CPU offerings are out and the platforms surrounding those CPUs will be stable at the very least for one more year. Probably more like 3 to 4 years if you're going to be sticking with AMD, as Zen 6 of course is still going to be utilizing the AM5 platform. And so even graphics cards have been actually getting much better. The RX 9000 series is offering some great competition in the mid-range to NVIDIA's RTX 50 series. And speaking of RTX 50, prices have also been a lot stabler. The RTX 5090 in the UK has even had some price cuts for certain flagship models, and well, this is all really good news. Indeed, I myself am going to be building a 9950X 3D, which is going to be like a tester benchmarking rig, and also an Intel 265K. This is going to be over the next week or two, depending on which platform I start out with, but do of course subscribe to the channel and join me because it's going to be an interesting build log, and I want you guys to join me and also perhaps help me make a few decisions along the way. But this video is sponsored by AliExpress, and they're offering some great ways to save money across numerous tech and other items this year. Indeed, they sent me a 48GB memory kit and also a portable screen, which is really nice if you're someone who uses a laptop on the go. And I'll be showing them off in video in just a moment and some testing, but I also want to mention that AliExpress are offering fantastic and exclusive discounts between the 16th of June and the 25th of June this year, of course. These summer sale prices are going to be the cheapest throughout the year so far in the first half, and so there are some really great deals here. Because in the AliExpress Summer Sale, you can save up to 80% from various items, including everything from tech and gaming to household and clothing if you so want. But also AliExpress are providing flash sale deals where you can get certain items for just £1, which is absolutely crazy. And to boot, you even grab cashback as well. But before we get into the details over at AliExpress, let's look at the products that I was sent.
And again, 48GB in capacity. Its packaging is exactly what you'd expect from any modern memory. The box, just a few logos and a couple of bits of text. Inside, the RAM was seated in the usual plastic holders, and it's a pretty distinctive white colour with patterns and of course the KingBank logo on one side and the technical label on the other. The RAM is fully RGB if that's your thing, and it lights up like a Christmas tree, and of course it's scientifically proven that RGB increases the performance of your PC. Like I said in my intro though, this RAM will find a home in one of my test systems, probably the 9950X3D build initially, but I will also potentially switch it to the 265K or maybe the 13900K, and eventually the 9950X3D will end up with 64GB of memory. Let me know though in the comments below, by the way. I'm very torn at this point whether to go with the 13900K for my main editing machine or to use the 9950X3D as my main workstation long term and instead use the 98X3D for benchmarking. Quite frankly, I feel really silly of buying a 9800X3D and building a whole new system when the 13900K is really powerful and right there. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm very curious to hear your ideas. But speaking of the 13900K, that's where I'm plonking this RAM. And as you can see, as a miracle, it was actually detected and got into Windows using XMP. I say a miracle, not because of the RAM, but because these boards, the Z690 boards, I'm using a ROG Strix Gaming A and a 13th gen processor. They're just not that guaranteed to play well with larger capacity non-binary RAM at the best of times. But yeah, this RAM worked absolutely fine with XMP, kind of. Unfortunately, my luck wasn't perfect. I got into Windows okay, but it wasn't 100% stable. On my board, Windows was perfectly okay, but the moment I tried to load up something like Doom the Dark Ages, I ended up crashing after a few minutes. Again, my memory controller for my 1300K just hasn't been the best ever since I got it. Sure, the 13900K itself has been rock stable, despite the issues with the 13th generation CPUs. Even with the boosting limits disabled, my 13900K has been perfect, but yeah, the memory controller has been a bit hit or miss. So what I ended up doing with my particular setup right now is dropping back into the BIOS and switching the memory to 7200MTS. But that also had the benefit of allowing me to tighten up the timings. And after that, I was able to play games such as Resident Evil at an insane resolution. I actually cranked up the internal render resolution here. And also Spider-Man 2 ran without any hitches at all. But like I mentioned, I'm using this RAM in the longer term for the 9950X3D, and I'm going to be building it around this NZXT-N9 motherboard. It's a really nice board from what I can see, and of course I'll be doing a full review on this board once I've got the rest of my system cobbled together. By the way, you can find a link to the memory that I'm using here in the video description, and you can use the coupon code AE0PNXLK, which of course is also on screen, to save even more money.
I was also sent a UPerfect portable monitor, and this is great if you're doing a lot of traveling, if you're going from office to home, or perhaps you're just in a very space-constrained environment. And this particular screen is a resolution of 2880 by 1800, so it's a 16:10 ratio, and the refresh rate is 120 Hertz. It's really slim, and I have to admit, I probably will not be using this monitor long-term for myself because, well, it's the kind of screen where, again, it's portable and you have to really go out a little bit to take full advantage of it. And at this point, I'm not too familiar with the concept of going outside, but I have actually decided to get this screen for someone else because they're going to actually be able to take advantage of it because they travel from home to office and sometimes they have to go to like remote locations. And the thing is, when you're doing like productivity work, having a single screen is a kind of like, you know, having one eye and you're like, this is fun, I guess. It's not ideal. And obviously if you're going between, you know, productivity, having a lot of spreadsheets open, development, making notes, the normal stuff for work, having a second screen is absolutely vital, and that's one of the primary reasons I chose this, because it's got an absolute metric ton of real estate. Again, 2880 by 1800 pixels.
The UPerfect monitor came a well-packaged box, and inside was of course the monitor itself, along with the case/stand, along with 3 cables and a power plug. Now the power plug is the UK variety, as I, well, live in the UK, but it can be switched out to another region's power plug if required, or you could simply use another USB-C capable charger if it's able to give you enough juice. The monitor can be connected via either HDMI cable. There's an included mini HDMI to regular HDMI connector, and also a USB-C display if your system supports it. Unfortunately, my monitor doesn't do USB-C display, so I opted, of course, with HDMI. The monitor is basically attached to a case and stand, and there's 3 different angles that you can set it thanks to the grooves in the case. It works well enough, it's quick and easy to set up, of course, and more importantly, is stable, both in terms of just it doesn't move away from that particular angle and it doesn't glide around on the desk. The OSD menu is fully functional, although obviously it doesn't come with all the bells and whistles you would expect for a super high-end gaming monitor or a professional display, but frankly speaking, just plugging this screen in to the Acer Nitro laptop and setting up the resolution and so on, and comparing it against the built-in display, the visual quality, it's just night and day. Honestly, the video that I'm shooting here just doesn't do it justice, but the difference is very profound. I also played a couple of games, including Stellar Blade, and it was nice enough. The screen is only 16 inches, so a resolution this high is absolutely razor sharp for games and text. Frankly though, because the screen is 16 inches, the pixel density means you can probably actually drop the resolution a little bit or use FSR and you're going to be absolutely good to go. Again, this is a really nice production screen as well if you're doing like writing or, you know, just other work. And honestly, it's a pretty solid little screen. You can actually get this at a price cut of around £200 by clicking the link in the video description. You can also use the code AEYTZVWL. As I mentioned at the start of the video, AliExpress are running their summer sale, and it runs from the 16th to the 25th of June. You can save up to 80%, but you could also grab products as cheap as £1 as part of their flash sale. Plus, you can shake and win for a chance to win one of their many secret prizes. We also have exclusive discount codes which are in limited time supply. Simply use the codes on screen to save even more. For example, if you want to save £50 on purchases over $200, you can enter the code Red50. And again, the validity period is until the end of this month. So you've got a while, but of course, all of the coupon codes are available on screen. So just make sure that you're putting in the right one so you can save the maximum amount of cash possible. Also, let's talk about TeamUp and Cashback. All you need to do is join my team, which I'll get to how to do that in just a moment. This allows you an instant 5% cashback on your purchases, but you can actually earn up to 10% by earning enough points, meaning you can save up to £450 in cashback, which is a lot of money. You can join my team pretty simply. You can click the link in the video description and download the AliExpress app if you're using mobile and search for the keyword Red Gaming, or you can scan the QR code on screen right now and that's it. Don't forget that you can also invite your friends and family to join the team, because the more people that we have on a team, the more cash back that you guys can all get. And of course, this means upgrading or just, buying anything is a lot cheaper. So again, you can simply click the link in the video description or scan the QR code to start earning cash back.
So once again, you can find links to all of this in the video description as well as the pinned comment. And I want to thank you guys for checking out the video. I know that sponsored content, well, it is sponsored content, but even so, if you want to check out the AliExpress website and perhaps, see if there is anything there that would be interesting to you, that would be much appreciated. At the end of the day, us uploading stuff like this and getting support from AliExpress does allow us to produce more content. And obviously we've been upgrading recently, getting a new camera, new lighting setup and all of this other stuff. So, we want to do the best we can and produce really cool content for you guys. And of course, once again, having these type of videos does allow us to do that. With that said, thank you once again for checking out the video, and thanks to AliExpress for sponsoring it. Take care of yourselves. Have an amazing day. Bye for now.